Recently, Ohmwrecker's put out 2 separate interviews, one with Sai and one with the girl with the alias Sarah. These have been super controversial, with many fans and people not really believing anything that's really said during the interviews, with some even finding flaws within the interview. Today, I want to go through 5 reasons why the interviews really didn't work for me, even though I said I would go in there with an open mind, but even with my mind a little bit more open, with my opinion willing to be changed. These are my 5 reasons why the interview doesn't seem believable or it didn't really work for me. Number 1, no proof, no evidence. I get that these are just interviews and it might be completely separate from the evidence, which kind of seems like what Ohmwrecker is gonna do. He ain't gonna reveal the evidence yet, but his main excuse for this has been one of 2. Either 1, it's coming and he cannot show it right now, or 2, it shows too much private information or tampers with the investigation that's being conducted by authorities. I mean, by showing DMs and any other part of the investigation, you are leaking stuff that the authorities would have anyways, so showing proof that Delirious is at least responding to any graphic photos or videos of a minor would show enough proof for us, but they cannot show anything. But wait, what if they can't show proof or evidence? What happens if they don't have any? Well, if you don't have proof or evidence of something happening, it would be like any other troll on the internet trying to get a content creator canceled, so we can't really believe you. But there are ways for you to get your voice heard and get your point proven by going to the authorities and having the job get done through them. If you want to go to the internet and claim that this is all true, but not show any proof or evidence, prepare to get a lot of hate and a lot of people to call you out, because that's just the nature of what's going to happen. It's happened before with other victims trying to come out, but without any solid proof or evidence to hold the content creator responsible, your words simply just cannot get the job done. So with no proof or evidence, this is the first reason why the interviews just did not work for me. There is no proof or evidence of any of the events that they're accusing Delirious of actually happened. Number 2, narrow questioning / coaching. What I mean by this is that some of the questions that Ohmwrecker chooses to ask the victims are very, very narrow and very specific.
Difficult to know where to start.
When you say where to start, you mean like in terms of like reporting it or something like that? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, twice.
So
and I've
Marcel,
still heard nothing.
While this has been happening, Marcel has been talking to you about it. Yeah, and I gotta imagine it's terrifying. I mean, he is somebody with a lot of resources, and
I mean that was my biggest concern as well. And to be clear, I mean this has been raised with again without getting into details, but this has been shared with some people that can investigate. Would you say that's fair to say?
It almost seems like it's coaching to help get the victim through the interview, and maybe these interviews are hard for them and maybe they need a little bit of help. Fine, fair. But multiple times in the video, he explains that the victims came to him wanting to do it. So you would imagine they'd be a little bit more prepared and they would be willing to speak up on their own without a lot of coaching or help from Ohmwrecker. If you're still confused what I'm meaning by all of this, instead of just having the victims talk, explain the story, the experiences, and just have them speak, Ohmwrecker is constantly cutting in to be able to ask specific questions, to have the interview go down a very specific path in a very specific conversation. Maybe he intended for this, but it makes the interview seem pre-planned, scripted, and that can easily lose people if they're coming here to watch the interview to see what the victims went through and try to find as much as they possibly can through the way that the victim chooses to speak, what comes to mind when they talk about it, what's the different levels in their voice, are they more careful on specific things, are they not so careful on specific things. These are all little things we could have had in the interview, but it's pretty obvious that Ohmwrecker decided to coach the victims and ask a very narrow line of questioning to get one specific story out the way he wanted to. And now that it's up on his channel, Ohmwrecker Vlogs, it will probably remain there. I really hope someone else gets the opportunity to ask the victims questions and have their own interview with them and have them speak just a little bit more than what they did. Number 3, lack of credibility. This is pretty obvious if you've been on Twitter, but if you haven't, Ohmwrecker's been losing his credibility ever since he went on Drama Alert, with a lot of things he's said, not only in tweets, but also in the Drama Alert video, my own interview with him, and some of his own content, being false, lies, slander, or with him even being tricked with a fake email without confirming the source before tweeting out about it. A lot of people just want to say, oh, Ohmwrecker's just trying to help, why crap on him so much? When you don't have credibility and you are dangerously going to do whatever you can to do what you believe is right, that is very, very dangerous. It can cause you to sit here and call out someone who might be innocent, which everyone's innocent before proven guilty, which means if you don't have evidence to prove that they're guilty, they're still innocent. Ohmwrecker has been known to sit here and jump at people even without the evidence present, and if he's quote-unquote seen all this evidence that the girls are presenting, or seen enough, then he should be able to blur or do something to be able to show us what he has seen. Two excuses that might come with this is that, oh, he can't do it to those explicit pictures at all. Well, he doesn't have to show the pictures, but the reactions, the messages, the DMs, when the conversations first started, and etc. Second excuse, oh, they don't have the evidence anymore. Well, then you can't really make these claims and back them up then. That's more your problem than ours. And then 3, it's going to tamper with the investigation and yada yada yada. Ohmwrecker's already been tampering with the investigation for a long time. He's a huge hypocrite saying, hey, Delirious needs to listen to his lawyers and not speak online about it, but he should also not be speaking online about it. It makes him look childish. And the investigation probably has been extended a bit longer because of the things Ohmwrecker decided to say on the internet. Number 4, unbelievable stories. There's a lot of things in these 2 interviews that are super unbelievable. For example, just look at this question.
Now, in hindsight, I mean, would you feel that he had taken advantage of like his position as a YouTuber at all? You know, was it like, you know, there's that term grooming and stuff like that. Do you feel in hindsight that you were groomed by Delirious?
All right. Pretty standard question, right? Ohmwrecker could have executed the question a bit better, yada yada yada, little things, semantics. But look at the way she responds to it.
Feel in hindsight that you were groomed by Delirious?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so. She seems very unsure whether or not these allegations are even true herself, and that's what makes both stories very unbelievable. The first story being a pretty standard story, Delirious has done inappropriate things through a call with a minor, but the second one being that he tried kidnapping a person's baby? What? These stories are unbelievable to begin with, but then when you bring the girls in and they're not even really sure on some of the points they're talking about, that means they just need to spend a bit more time coming up with their story before going public about all of this, because there's a lot of examples like this throughout both interviews where either Ohm or the girls seem like they don't even believe the things that they're saying. Number 5, other drama. There are other things surrounding these interviews too. Delirious sent Ohm a cease and desist. This was revealed by Ohm. Apparently Delirious used the hard F. This was revealed by Ohm. Apparently Delirious sat here and boasted about how much money he makes in a month. This was revealed by Ohm. Wait. I thought we were here talking about allegations. Why are all these other things being brought up? Oh yeah, that's right. Ohmwrecker's been involved in a lot of drama in the last 2 months, and I feel like him trying to sit here and stand up for what's right and stand up for the victims is not working out. He is not the guy that should be doing this. He's had so many flaws. If honestly someone else were able to sit here and stand up for these victims, that would be better for them than Ohmwrecker. Ohmwrecker's caused so many problems and so many issues, and I think it's getting to the point where he's involved in so much, he needs to be able to sit here and better himself and the way he conducts and handles himself on the internet, instead of being an explosive little child who needs to reply to everything Delirious says in form of tweets. I mean, he had a huge argument with Wildcat back when the drama was first going on, and Wildcat is barely tied to any of these allegations we're talking about now. But yeah, those are my 5 points on why the interviews didn't work for me. There are a lot more than 5 points, but those are the main 5 that come to mind. There could be other points being brought up, like the timing. He decided to do this 2 months after he released all this information on Drama Alert. Another point is that he used TJV in his keywords for both interviews to try to grab more attention, gain more eyes to look at the situation, and there's several more points that I could bring up, but these are the main 5 I just wanted to focus on. Let me know more reasons down below why the interviews didn't work for you guys, or let me know why it did. It's all right for all of us to have a difference in opinion, and I don't support any bullying, harassing, or death threats of any kind just because someone has a different opinion than you. And this also goes towards Ohmwrecker. I don't expect anyone here watching these videos to go over to his channels or his social media accounts and bully, harass, or send death threats of him towards him or the victims. That is completely inappropriate, and we should be able to hold each other accountable if you see that happening. So yeah, be respectful to all, but let me know down below what you guys think. Make sure to like this video. Feel free to go down in the description below and join the Discord, and I will see you guys all next time. Peace.